record, and I'm just going to go because I'm nervous. All right. Hello and welcome to Morning Fuel. I am your host, John Bundy, and you are here because you believe in the power of the spoken word and its ability to change lives, and that by sharing our stories, we can help others overcome challenges that they cannot overcome on their own. Whether it's a victory you need to win in business or in your own personal life, you understand that answers can be found in listening to others who are willing to share their stories, knowing that their story ultimately doesn't belong to them. All right, today's guest, her mission to help busy women figure out how to build health into their already chaotic schedules. She provides results through a personalized nutrition plan and comprehensive health analysis, factoring in mindset, environment, stress, and more, without dieting or working out 7 days a week. Her favorite thing about what she does is helping women find a healthier relationship with food and learning to love themselves, all while getting results. One of her methods for keeping productive is a morning routine that includes devotions, working out, walking dogs, and personal development. A couple bits of advice she offers others aspiring to succeed in business are: know yourself and your best working style, and find people like you who are willing to work hard and learn from them. Offering one-on-one coaching programs, workshops, and courses, her clients discover food freedom, relief from imbalanced hormones, and a new lifestyle that brings them joy, fulfillment, and success. Please extend a warm Morning Fuel podcast welcome to owner and nutrition coach at Life.Simply.Balanced, Jenni Sills.
Well, thank
Jenni,
you.
You're very welcome. Thanks for being here. This is very cool.
Man, it's interesting to hear myself all written out like that.
Yeah, and you know what? I love it. With the questions that we ask folks in our little form, it really helps me to introduce people well.
Well, thank you for having me, John.
You're very welcome. Yeah.
I'm excited to be here.
So we sort of met virtually. Well, you got to meet me first. So
Yes.
You listened to a podcast on Sarah Larson, one of my favorite people on the planet.
She's
Sarah
amazing.
Larson is amazing. Yeah. So what... were you looking to be on podcasts? Was that kind of when the idea happened, or what?
I had spent 2022, I'm like, is that the year it was last year?
Yeah, right.
Really developing my business. So starting this business, my husband said, you know what, this is your passion. Let's just let you take a year off of doing anything else. And I know, what a gift.
Fabulous. 2022 was that year.
That was the year.
Okay.
So I did a lot of, I am a teacher by degree, so I did a lot of developing the courses, doing what I'm good at. What I've never had a ton of experience at is networking in the business world. Because I was an educator for 12 years. So you go to school for 4 years, then you go into the classroom.
You're networking, all the other folks are like this tall, right?
Yeah. Or you're networking other teachers, pretty much just sharing stories over lunch. So this is a whole new world for me. So I wanted to feel comfortable with what I was offering. And so then I said for 2023, I need to find a different way of getting my message out into the world besides just paying for ads on social media.
Sure.
Because I wasn't loving that. I don't even love to be on social media all the time.
Yeah, that can be painful sometimes too.
Yeah. So I'm like, what's the algorithm now? So, so then I had heard from Sarah and my other friend Natalie, you know, you should definitely be on podcasts because, I mean, I listen to podcasts all the time. So it's an opportunity to share my story and knowing, I loved what you said, spirit-led. Like people are just... whatever we say and whatever we talk about is going to be what somebody needs to hear.
Sure.
So it's just been, I was like, okay, I'm going to do hard things. I'm going to do this because I talk. I love to talk. I was told I talk.
You love to write too.
I do. And I was told I talk too much as a kid, which is why I write.
It's a superpower. People are jealous.
Absolutely. So it's interesting because I haven't started a podcast yet because there is unknown. And so when I heard your podcast, I was like, okay, I got to learn more about this and see when I'm ready, like what that would look like.
Yeah, don't sleep on it.
Yeah, no.
I mean, be ready because it really does not have to be that difficult. People make it out to be difficult.
This is
a
pretty
lot of
simple,
people come up with a great podcast idea.
Yeah.
Oh, it's going to be award winning, right?
Yeah.
But then they get stuck on, I don't know what microphone to get. I don't know what cameras
Right.
I need to have. Well, how do you, oh, and then they never do it.
Right.
And that's a shame because this isn't for just us.
Right. It's for everyone else.
Yeah.
Well, and that's very similar to what I hear from women all the time when it's like, well, I'm just not ready to make a change because I don't know the best diet to take. Or there's always, we have these boundaries. So I love that you say that because it's like my own advice back to me of like, there's never a right time.
Don't sleep on it. Oh, there won't be. There won't be.
There's
And
never
there
a
are
right
also
time.
times come that you go, I don't know, is this having an effect? Is this
Right.
is this really working? But you just keep doing it.
You just keep
doing
doing
it. You know, keep
Consistency.
putting it out there.
Yeah.
And then it answers another issue that many business owners have, a conundrum that we have, and that is, how in the world am I going to collect all this content that I'm supposed to have for social media? Well, record a 30-minute podcast and you've got content for days.
Absolutely. Yeah. Lots of things to share and say for sure. So it's definitely on there. I just started using a space called Substack.
Okay.
And where I can write and where people are looking to read articles. So it's different than just like I have a blog on my website, but people are looking for articles on different topics.
Yeah.
But they also allow you to add in video and audio.
Fantastic.
So I
There you
just
go.
started doing some audio
Do
clips
it.
to get myself used to that because I love the conversation piece.
Right.
That's something that I love sitting down and talking to people. That's my favorite part of my job.
Well, so I mean, we're talking about podcasting.
Yeah.
You're not going to be able to sleep until you go pick a day on the calendar. Okay, I'm going to start here, or at least I'm going to learn how to get started.
Yeah.
But so at the beginning, I mean, you were teaching what grade or what were you teaching?
Everything. I started in kindergarten, and I even taught 8th grade debate, which is kind of like kindergarten, if you will.
Sure.
Yeah, circular reasoning.
imagine.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I ended up teaching the last few years in 6th grade social studies,
Okay.
which I love.
When did this idea first come in your head to do nutrition?
The last 3 years of my teaching career, I was burnt out. I'm sure if you've ever talked to a teacher who's been in for even a few years.
I can't imagine.
Yeah.
I would have probably went to jail.
Yeah. So I
Disciplining somebody else's child.
definitely
but
like
anyways.
there were moments I was like, walk away. So I had my own health gut issues that kind of stemmed me to learn. I went to a functional medicine doctor, so I had to learn a lot to
Sure.
just feel good on my own. My
Right.
last few years of teaching. And so then I became a fitness instructor, and I was doing that in the morning before I even went to teach. So I would get up at 4 a.m., get ready, go teach a fitness class, and then
so you did it. You just did it.
I
Okay.
rushed off to go teach middle schoolers. It was a great way to decompress too
Sure.
from middle school.
Yeah.
And I realized I enjoyed that more. And I would get up and be early to teach my classes at 6 a.m., but I couldn't get my butt to work on time on the days I wasn't teaching a fitness
Right.
class, or as early as I did when I first started. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to take that as a sign. Like, I don't want to be the teacher that everyone knows doesn't want to be here, because I've had those
Sure.
teachers, and
Oh,
I know
sure.
that what educators do is so crucial. And so I was like, okay, I've done my teaching thing. I'm done with this. And coaching was still teaching. It was still a way of expressing the skills I learned as a teacher when you're coaching or, going through all of that. And so I was like, okay, I still got to use the skills that I have. It just is going to
All right, I'm going to take
different.
a stab at this. Teaching something that you're really interested in
Yeah.
is a whole lot better than stuff that.
Like, okay, what do we have to teach about the Holocaust for 6 weeks? Well, that's fun. 6 hours a day? This
Right.
is okay.
So you started with this side gig in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
Did you think at that point it would become what you do, or
Well-
was it just one of those? I'm a teacher, but I also need this, so let me. How did that work?
Took a
How did
leap
that start?
of faith, and I was going to open up my own fitness, like a chain of a studio, and moved to Texas. I had a friend from college that lived there. I was living in Seattle, super expensive. I was like, I can't afford to live here without my teacher's salary. And so I was going to move and save up money for a year and open this fitness studio. And then 2 months before I moved, they said, we're going to hold on franchising for a while. So I was like, ugh. Okay.
Oh, you were ready
so
to go.
prayed about it, and then was like, I'm still going to go and just see what's out there. Got involved with a different fitness studio, worked from coach up to head coach, and did more of the fitness side of things. And I kept hearing a pattern with all of the members. What do I eat? What do I eat? What do I eat? And just the constant, like, I battled it a lot in my life. I think women, I mean, obviously I don't know what goes inside a man's head, but for women.
One thing at a time.
Yeah. For women, it's the constant, I feel like, agony of, well, I need to look this way. I need to be a certain size. I need to be a certain number. Oh, this food is bad. Well, this food is bad. And there's a lot of marketing out there that is bad, wrong.
Yeah.
And so I know I would cling to these false images of what beauty was, what I should look like, what, just what health was. I had this wrong image of it. And when I went through all my gut issues, it was like, I just want to feel good.
Yeah.
That was the most important thing. It wasn't like, I need to weigh this number, or I need to look this way. It was like, I just want to feel good finally. And when I shifted my mind, and then I went through being a trainer, I realized a lot of women are hyper focused on, I need to look a certain way. And then we should be focused on, I just want to feel good in my body. And what does health look like? Health isn't just what we eat. It's how we think about ourselves, how we talk about ourselves, how we manage stress. Are we sleeping well? Do we have good routines, like a morning routine?
Yeah.
Do we know how to pivot? Because life is always going to throw you curveballs.
Oh, sure.
Especially if you're a business owner or a parent, right? And so
100%. Yeah.
It kind of developed over time. And it wasn't until this last year when I got certified as a nutrition coach that I was like, no, this is what I love the most. Yeah, I love to teach people workouts and stuff, or how to work out. But helping people learn how to live a healthy lifestyle, it's going to look different for you, John, than it looks for me, than it looks for your daughter.
And it's absolutely. And it's 100% you're an experiment.
Yeah.
Because, I actually had a brain tumor removed about like 12 years ago.
Okay.
And I never was into fitness. I never was into sports in school or anything like that. I didn't really start thinking about it until I was met with, I had a 50-50 chance of making it off the operating table.
Wow.
So, and I had 2 daughters and a wife, so it was one of those things where when I passed through that, I then began paying attention. Okay. They couldn't tell me exactly why I had this brain tumor. It obviously has to be something I'm putting in that So once I started kind of, catching on to that, I began the study. And and I know that there's no one size fits all.
No.
There's 100% not, because, like you alluded to earlier, my daughter, it'd be different for my daughter.
Absolutely.
She could eat cake every day and not gain a pound. She's going to feel like crap, and she notices that. But me, I just look at cake and I gain weight.
Yes.
So this is kind of a different thing. You had said something earlier too about the differences between what men and women think. I think maybe when it comes to there's a couple of things that are similar. I mean, I want to feel good, but I also want to be strong.
Yeah.
And then I also want to be very attractive to my wife.
Absolutely.
And I remember when I first started my workout journey, and I was actually seeing gains, which I didn't think we weren't supposed to, after 40, be able to really gain any muscle. You just hear all these myths. Yeah. And then when she was just kind of spending a little bit more time feeling my arm, I was like, oh yeah, I want to work out more. This is awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
it is a good feeling. And there is no one size fits all. And I'm working with a gym in my town, and I still have a lot of people come to me and they say, okay, well, can you just tell me what to eat? And my response is no. I'm that teacher. I'm that person, because I could. I do develop like nutrition plans. I don't call them diets because that word's so many negative connotations. But what I want people and women especially to learn is, how does it feel when you eat the foods that you're eating? Do you get energy from them?
Right.
Do you have long-term energy, or do you have like a burst of energy and then you're crashing? Or you have cravings? And like one of the things women in their 30s and 40s, kind of the age range I work with for the most part, some in their 50s too, will say like, I just can't curb these cravings, so I'm just going to cut out all sugar, because that's what they think. Society says, oh, you just do a sugar detox, just do a 12-day detox, do a juice cleanse, whatever. And I'm like, but that's not sustainable. Like, okay, so what do you get from 12 days without sugar besides hanger? Like a lot of just crankiness. Like, you're going to probably go back and go back and have all the things you had. And so
and especially when you're around your family.
Right.
You're not the only one experiencing all that negative.
It's a group experience at that point.
Yeah.
And so I tell people, like, you think that the sugar cravings are the issue, but it could be an issue that you're not getting enough protein. And so when women then refocus what they're, like, instead of deleting something from their life, they're adding something positive. I'm going to focus on getting quality sources of protein at every meal. And they'll say, oh my gosh, I haven't had my cravings, Jenni. Like this week, I haven't had any like sugar cravings between lunch and dinner. It's because you focused on adding something positive in, and it wasn't what I can't have. I mean, what do you do when you tell a toddler, don't draw on the wall? What do?
Where are the crayons?
Yeah, I'm going to go draw on them. Where's the permanent marker? You know, like I'm going to go draw on that wall. So when we are told as human beings we can't do something and there's this restriction, then maybe we can, I'm going to be really diligent when we get through 2 weeks, and by like that day 15, we're like, this is awful. This sucks. Right. I'm out. So I try to reverse the way women think about food and exercise, so it's not a punishment.
Sure, and also when you've been through it yourself, the self-experimentation, you can tell folks what to expect. Oh, yeah. Okay, it's going to be hell for like the first 3 days.
Yeah.
But then after that's going to level out, and then you're going to start to, or whatever that looks like.
Yeah. Well, and I have clients who, I have a client right now, when we started, she 0 veggies in her diet on a day-to-day basis. And so we talked about, it's kind of like, well, tell me about that. Well, I don't like any. Well, so it's like, have you had them cooked in multiple different ways? Like, what is it? Like, I'm not going to make you eat vegetables you don't like, but are there ones maybe you do like? And can you see the benefit of? And so we just started 1 vegetable a day. And now she's up to like 2 or 3 servings a day, and she's making those choices automatically. And today I got a message, and she's like, I prepped all my breakfast and lunches for the first time ever for the whole week, and snacks. She's like, I can't believe it. I've never done this before. I'm like, that's the reward. Is you are so proud of yourself, and you're setting yourself up for success. And so when life hits the fan, or you're stuck in traffic, or someone brings pizza in front of you and you're like, great, like that's my favorite food. And now you have options that you don't have to, or it might be eat the piece of pizza. It's not going to hurt you to have a piece of pizza.
Right.
And that's something else. Women get really like all or nothing. Mm-hmm. Like I either have to do everything perfectly or I'm not going to do it. And I'm like, well, what's perfect? There's no perfect out there. So it's realigning expectations. And that's hard.
Wow.
That's hard.
So right now you're currently living and doing your business in the Carolinas? Where?
North Carolina. We're in the Pinehurst area. So if you're into golf.
Okay.
The U.S. Open comes next year.
You also have the option these days, easier than ever, right, to do your nutrition planning and meet with folks virtually. Do you do a lot of that as well?
Most of it.
Most of it is that way. Fantastic.
Yeah. So I have a course that is finishing up this week. It's my Food Freedom course. And it's a 9-week program. And because this is the first time I've had a lot of people in town, we've met up in person a few times. Like we've gone to First Watch for brunch, and we talk about ordering and how to have brunch and still enjoy yourself without it being like, can I have an egg white omelet only? So we've done the more personable things. We're going to do a workout together on Wednesday to culminate the experience, and then go to Chipotle and have a good, meal together. But most of my clients, even in town, are busy moms. So they're on Zoom with me while their kids are napping because it's convenient for them. So we do, whether it's programs or one-on-one coaching, I will do they get so many calls, like minutes of coaching time where we're face-to-face. And then I have an app that I use that gives them a way to track, that gives them all their resources. And then we, communicate on a daily basis as much as they want or need.
Very cool.
So there's a variety of ways.
Yeah, it's great. It's great to have somebody, especially at the very beginning, who's been on a journey themselves.
Yeah.
And then it's, be able to hold people's hands in the grocery store.
Yeah.
To walk somebody through, this is how you should shop.
Right.
And then you have the the great time with somebody that is now having this first time experience of the
Right.
meal prep. And then they realize, wait a minute, when I do this, I save so much time, so much brain power. I don't
So
have to
much
think about it.
money.
Money. I just have to grab it out of the fridge. It's already put together
Yeah.
and walk out the door. Because many times when we walk out the door without that prepared meal, we're in trouble.
And we're waiting till we're starving, and
Sure.
then no good decisions usually.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
happen.
Too many fast food places on the way home.
Oh,
or
yeah.
the Krispy Kreme.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, cool. So where from here? What are your plans? I mean,
So I am looking at getting my next certification because, as I was telling your daughter, there's always another rabbit hole you can go down because you learn more. So my husband and I have been on our own fertility journey, and so I'm actually going to take not a course, but become certified as a women's holistic hormone health practitioner.
okay.
So in other words, helping women in their 30s and 40s going through perimenopause, menopause, learn how to eat for their hormones, and to solve a lot of hormonal imbalances through nutrition, some supplementation, but even just lifestyle. Because I've literally been walking that for the last 2 years.
A lot of from my studies, and they haven't been as in depth, but just trying to solve my own issues.
Mm-hmm.
Understanding the food we eat affects the hormones, and the hormones
Oh my
affects
gosh,
how
yeah.
we feel.
Yeah.
So when you want to feel good, you got to get that stuff straight.
Well, 95% of your serotonin is made in your gut. It's produced and stored in your gut. And so if you have inflammation in your body, then it's going to affect your mood. It's going to affect physically how you feel, your brain, like how
Yeah.
focused you are. And so a lot of women, when we make minor changes to their nutrition, they realize like, oh, maybe I don't need to be on that depression medication. And I
Sure.
will never medicate or any of that,
sure.
anything like that. But this is that next step to take it on a deeper level of what I know. And then I'll be able to work with different physicians, chiropractors, functional medicine doctors, hopefully be able to take insurance. So it's going to kind of take my business to that next level. But really helping women, because that's the number one theme of what I hear with the women's I go through is it might be, what do I eat? But then underlying, there's all these hormone issues. And so I
Right.
figured it's the perfect time to keep learning more.
Yeah, and understanding too
Yeah.
that and I've heard it, on up to 90% of your physical fitness is in the kitchen.
Yeah.
What you're putting in, the fuel that you're putting in, because
Yeah.
you could be huge, you could have all the strength that you want,
Mm-hmm.
but feel like crap all the time because of what you're putting into your body.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and even there's a lot of women who it's like cardio, and they're in their 30s and 40s. Well, at a certain point, your hormones don't like cardio.
Sure.
They like resistance training.
Mm-hmm.
But we're beating the head that cardio
Right.
is going to help us lose
Right.
weight. And so it's just retraining the brain. It's all retraining the brain. Someone who's 18 is going to have a very different workout routine than a woman who's in her 30s, her 50s.
Yeah.
So that's the next step. I'm really excited. I'm hoping to get started next month. So
All right. Very
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
Well, you've got a very supportive husband that gave
Yes.
you that whole year
He's
to go ahead
awesome.
and get this thing going, and you got it going.
Yeah.
That's phenomenal. Teamwork. So before I ask my last question, where can folks reach you on social media?
social
online?
media on Instagram, it's Life.Simply.Balanced, Life.Simply.Balanced, but
Okay.
Jenni Sills. And then my website is jennisills.com. So, and I have freebies on there. My blog is on there. All the different courses, any kind of information, and even contact me. I'm a conversationalist. I want to talk to people, so reach out to me.
Very cool. Very cool. Okay. Last question. Jenni Sills.
Yes.
Owner of Life.Simply.Balanced, nutrition coach. Sometimes this question is difficult for folks to answer. So
Okay.
I'm trying to think of maybe a better way to say it, but I think it's good to get that kind of stretch. And that is, what do you need right now as a business owner? What do you, Jenni Sills, need right now more than anything?
What do I need? I need people who are ready to work with me. I get some people who want the easy answer. They want, like I said, they just give me a meal plan.
Right.
I'm not for you. I'm not for those people. I want the women who are ready to put in the hard work, because real change is hard. But when we embrace it, like when we step into the uncomfortable, that's when the magic happens. So I need those women who are ready to stop taking the easy way out, because I took the easy way out for many years. It's almost like lean cuisine, my way to like a healthy life is what I thought, right? And when I started doing the more in-depth work and like being intentional about this week, I'm focusing on, 5 minutes of like prayer and meditation in the morning, and that's something I'm checking off. And I'm working on making sure that I have an hour away from my phone. Like if those are the two things I'm working on, then I'm intentional and I'm working on those things. And I'm not worried about everything else. And I want women who are willing to try something new and trust the process. And then share. Oh my gosh, if this resonated with you, that's the most important thing. Just share it with someone who, if you heard like hormones and like, oh, I know so-and-so who's struggling with their hormones, share it, because that's the best thing we can do. So.
Great.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Really great to meet you.
You too. Thanks for having me,
John.
John.
For next time, we'll go more in depth, perhaps into like the morning routine and stuff like that.
Oh,
But that's
absolutely.
really important to me. But wow, very cool to meet you.
You too. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you.